Hello, today I want to show you how you can create an easy stage preset for Karma. Also how you can create recipes. It's really useful for enhancing your workflows and your speed, and it helps a lot for repetitive processes like creating a basic stage layout or something like that. This concept applies to basically everything, so if you have a different process you want to make a lot easier, you can do it the same way. First I'm going to show you how it works. So we're going to create an easy stage, which I already created a recipe for. Now let's go over what it does. So first of all, it creates all these nodes here, and also it sets parameters for those nodes. The ones I usually always set as a standard or something I want to go from as a baseline. Starting out, we have the two important nodes, the Karma render settings and the render op, and both of them have some parameters I always set, and that's why I want them to be set as standard, which is the engine settings set to XPU. Then in the limits, I want to up the diffuse limit. Then I turn on velocity blur, and also I check the output color space to ACES SCG. And in the filters, usually for look depth, I have the tone mapping on as well as the NVIDIA denoising on. Now, then we have in the render ROP, there's in monitor, I always turn on the M-plane monitor when rendering, so I can actually check if the render looks decent or if I have to cancel and start again, as well as setting it to a specific frame range instead of a single frame. All of these things are so many clicks if you have to do them every time you create a new project. That's why creating this preset makes it just a lot faster. Then aside from that, I created a dome light with a basic HDRI already set, just so you can easily fast visualize your scenes before setting actual lighting. Then there's the material setup, which always consists of a material linker and the material library where all the materials are housed. And then in there we have a camera. Usually I change the camera settings to something that fits like a realistic camera. This one is the sensor size of my camera I already have, so it's really useful if I actually do visual effects integrations because I don't have to set the sensor size. Then I usually create for social, so I always have 9:16 set. And then we have the swap import, just basically to import your scene. We're gonna create it together now. So let's delete it. And we're gonna start. First, you're gonna create the nodes you want. So for me, that's a Karma setup node. Then of course you want to set all the parameters you want, like XPU maybe. Let's turn up the limits. Maybe 3 makes actually more sense, to be honest. Then we can turn on the denoiser and whatever. You get the gist of it. So we create all the rest of the nodes like this. All right, as you can see, it took a few minutes to create all these nodes. And now what you need to do is you select all your nodes, right click, recipes, save selected items as tool. Then you'll get this pop-up and you can see all the nodes you have selected as your tool. You can also change names. You can basically change any parameter. You give it a name like easy stage. But in this case, I already have a recipe like this, so it will get overwritten. That's why we don't do that. Let's call it demo. You select the anchor node, which is the node from which this tree is built, which you can basically select any of those, but for me, I'm going to use the Karma render settings. You can set a custom directory, but I'm going to just use the standard Houdini user preferences as the directory to save this tool. Then you can select an icon, which I just use the caret, but you can select other items, like, for example, this one, or I don't know, whatever you like. There's a lot of presets here, but you can select your own images as well, so you can create your own icons for the tools. And then you just click save. And once that's done, let's do that for an example. Let's create this, the demo, and we use the icon. Let's use the car as an icon. Let's click save. And then we delete this. And then we click Easy Stage Demo. And there we have it, the tool which creates the complete stage, including all the parameters we set and all the nodes that we created. And this is a really quick, really easy way to enhance your workflows by a few minutes every time. Like usually you would spend just like 5 to 10 minutes creating all these nodes, setting all the basic parameters. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And if you want me to create more of these quick, easy tutorials, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.